Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the April meetup event for the Developer User Group. My name is Robert. I'm one of the organizers of the Developer User Group. Joan's also here, not one of our other organizers. And it's very surprising. It feels like just yesterday we were doing our December event, and now we're doing our April event. The year is definitely going very, very quick. If it's your first time here, very welcome. We're really grateful for you to join us. We meet on the third Wednesday of every month, and we either do that either online or we'll do a hybrid if possible. We meet in office space provided by one of our sponsors or companies. If you work at a company, I'd like a bunch of developers to come there, and we'll do a hybrid meetup. We'd love to do that at your venue. But before we get to our talk today, I want to go in, click here, and just say a few thank yous. So OfferZen is one of the sponsors of the Developer User Group. On the screen, you'll see a link. I will put this in the chat just now if you don't get it, or you can use your phone immediately with that QR code. If you scan that or go to that link during the event, you can fill in a very short form. They capture a little bit of details about you, and it helps them to know which event's doing well and who's going to what. And in exchange for you filling in a form, they will give you some awesome offers and swag. I think they give like 5 people every meetup a cool little swag bag. So very much worthwhile doing to get that. Excuse me. We also want to say thanks to JetBrains. JetBrains has given us 3 keys to their products. These can be used to unlock any of the JetBrains products. So if you want a full copy of IntelliJ or WebStorm or anything along those lines, those amazing IDEs and tools, you can win one of those keys during the event. Generally, we do that by, if you ask a question, the first sort of 3 people to ask questions will win prizes. And then before we get to the talk, we just want to make a mention that the Developer User Group, we do these 3 events once a month, but we also run a conference once a year called DevConf. It takes place on the 12th and the 14th of May. The 12th in Johannesburg at River Sands, which is just outside of Fourways, I believe, in Cape Town at Century City. We are very excited. The agenda's up on the website. We got a lot of really great sponsors. I've been speaking to some of the speakers. They're making like custom things to give away. It's going to be really exciting, and you can see that also in terms of the number of tickets we have left. So Joburg, we just sent out an email today, is 90% sold out. We expect those remaining tickets to be sold in the next few days. So if you don't have a ticket for Joburg, you really need to make a plan this week to get it. Cape Town's doing a little bit slower. It is a bigger event as well. But it is only at about 77% sold out. So we still have some tickets available there if you are interested in attending. The other thing is, if your company said they're going to buy you tickets, they haven't done it, we need to close EFT payments this week. So all the EFT things finish up before the event. So if they need to pay by EFT, they should be doing it, and haven't bought tickets, they need to do it this week, or they need to get in touch with us. So if you'd like to go to a full day conference, 26 different speakers, amazing swag bags, amazing hoodie. We're doing really cool tops for all the attendees this year. As part of the swag, we have got massive prizes. I know there's a PlayStation 5 coming from one of the sponsors. It's a really great experience to go there and have a full in-day in-person event. And so with that, all our sort of little things out the way, I'd now like to hand over to Phalo-Mihlali. I hope I got that right. And who's going to take us through their talk on security. I believe it's quite a short talk, which is awesome. We have a nice quick meetup tonight and get to dinner. So over to you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Phalo-Mihlali Mbangcolo, and I am here to present my talk. I am actually very excited for this. So I just want to share my screen quickly and then we can get started. Hi, can everyone see the screen?
Yes.
Yep.
Perfect. So I just wanted to give this talk on threat modeling on an API test. I am an aspiring software engineer and I do API security. So this is actually kind of made for me. I wanted to break down what is threat modeling, the different types of testing pen testers use, and why it's actually important in the security aspect of testing all. So threat modeling is basically the process that's used to identify and evaluate potential threats to an API. And the end goal is to basically understand how attackers might exploit the system and how to reduce risk. So the people who actually do the threat modeling are pen testers. And pen testers act as attackers and they just evaluate potential threats and they identify anything that could cause harm to the API. So there are three types of testing um, that pen testers perform. One of them is black box testing, the other one is gray box testing, and white box testing. Sorry. So as you can see from the screen here, I've just basically summarized it for you guys. So what threat modeling does, it allows organizations to proactively identify vulnerabilities and potential attackers. The end goal is you really want to protect your system and you really want to protect the API. And threat modeling also saves a lot of time and money by identifying security issues in the software development. So like I said earlier, there are three types of testing: black box testing, white box testing, and gray box testing. So what threat modeling does is it maps out the threats to an API provider, and then the test is defined by an adversary. Adversaries could be anyone really. It could be an insider with knowledge, an opportunistic member of the public, or just someone who's just looking to commit any type of crime. Gotcha. So one thing I want you guys to remember is that threat modeling is defined from the attacker's point of view. So as the pen tester, you're acting as the attacker and you are trying to look for these vulnerabilities to protect yourself and to protect the API. So the first type of testing I'm talking about is black box testing. What you find is that the pen tester will stumble upon the target, and what they actually have to do is they have to spend time doing reconnaissance. What that means is they actually have to go out and do research. They actually have to plan and you know look for things they can manipulate, anything they can use to be able to access their system and to perform whatever it is they want to do. So what they do is they actually have no knowledge on how the system works, and it's up to them to actually look for um, sorry, yeah, it's actually up to them to look for things they can use to be able to attack the system. Remember, pen testers are the ones that do this. They do this for protection. The next type of testing is gray box testing. What you find is that the attacker is more informed about this process. They actually have knowledge. They do spend time doing reconnaissance, but they don't do it a lot. What they do is they do active testing and they go around looking for vulnerabilities they can exploit. The last one is white box testing. What you find is that the tester has deep knowledge of the system. They know how everything works. They have full disclosure of everything. And this actually enables the most thorough and deep assessment of API securities. Now, the reason why this is actually so important to do is you actually want to protect yourself from any potential threats that could harm your API. So, when you do threat modeling, it actually saves a lot of time and a lot of money, and it actually reduces risk as a whole. So the next part I want to discuss is the type of API features pen testers perform on. So there's web application firewalls, you've got auditing API documentation, rate limit testing, and mobile application testing. Now, the reason why we do this is that each of these areas can expose different types of vulnerabilities, from misconfigurations to data leaks and abuse of systems. So the first one, when you attack or you test on web application firewalls, What this does is that web application firewalls filter and monitor out HTTP traffic. They block malicious requests and suspicious IP addresses, and pen testers check if the web application firewall can be bypassed or misconfigured. The next one is mobile application testing. What you do is that you actually analyze the mobile application to find API vulnerabilities. Sorry, you intercept active server traffic by using proxies, and you also identify insecure endpoints and data leaks. The next one is API documentation review. This is actually the best type of thing you can do, because what this does is that you can find endpoints, you can get data structures, and you can look for different authentication methods. So by reviewing the documentation, the tester will either correct inaccuracies and prevent sensitive information about the API's internal workings from being leaked to the public or being leaked to criminals or to anyone that wants to cause harm to the system. The last one is rate limit testing. What this does is it restricts the number of requests a user can make in a given time. This can prevent server overload, and it can support API monetization. The testers aim to bypass limits to pay tier data without causing denial of services. So yeah, that's all I have for you guys at the moment. But if anyone has any questions, please ask away and I will answer them for you.
Yeah, thank you. That was really great. Yeah, if anybody has any questions, very welcome to unmute yourself and ask questions, or if you'd like, you can put it in the chat and I can ask it for you.
No questions?
So just a question on my side.
Yeah.
And this is one of the things that we experience quite often is encryption.
Yeah.
And encrypting your API. So one of the things we're often flagged for pen testing, especially when people UAT test. We don't usually add encryption until UAT. And I mean, we just use SHA-256, but usually we use the address headers and then we encrypt the body.
Yeah.
And send it encrypted, which you probably should do as well.
Definitely, you are correct. You know, the end goal is you really want to prevent any type of information leaking, but you do want to protect the API and protect yourself, because, you know, you never know who's out there, the type of damage they can cause to the system. So this is why it's so important to be aware and to protect yourselves and to protect your APIs. So that's why security is so fun, because you get to do all of these things, acting as the attacker, but you also are helping people. You're protecting them as well. Are there any other questions? You're very welcome to Tinda. Thank you for coming.
Anyone else got a question? Otherwise, yeah, I just want to say a big thanks. And I should close the window. We already have our meetup planned for next month, being May. We've got obviously DevConf on the 12th and the 14th of May, but on the 20th we'll be back for our usual sessions. And the session is going to be done by the head of product from OfferZen. We'll be talking about building a sort of shared culture, team understanding in your product teams using AI. So that should be very fascinating. Yeah, last chance for anyone to ask a question. Otherwise, we'll call it there.
Thank you guys so much. I enjoyed this. I hope to do this again very soon.
So thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks all. Have a great rest of your evening. Cheers.
Ciao.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks everyone for coming.
Thank you.